Okay, everybody's got a fucking podcast. I mean, we have a podcast, so obviously anyone can do it.
Wait, this is a podcast?
Are you recording right now?
Technical difficulties.
No, you don't have to say anything. I'm going to edit it out.
Technical difficulties.
Okay. I put mayonnaise on a pickle.
Yo, I know y'all ain't playing skee ball. I'm trying to go to bed.
Do my feet... I mean, my feet stink, right?
Yeah. Yep, we're in. We're in. It's happening.
Once again.
Star Wars Episode 6, we're wrapping up our second trilogy, Charles. How's it feel? Are you excited?
I feel like, yeah, because I can't wait to do the next.
Do you feel
set.
accomplished?
I do.
It's probably like the biggest thing either of us have done in our lives, huh?
I mean, I got Tiff pregnant, so does that count?
I mean, all you did was leave it in, you know?
I mean, I was just glad to be involved, honestly. So.
Right. I mean, that's how I feel whenever I have sex.
Yeah, I'm just glad to be a participant.
Yeah.
So.
I'm just happy to be here.
But.
Thanks for listening.
That's it. Goodbye.
Email us at. All right. So, Return of the Jedi. I think we've talked about this. 5. We've both said, in case you're first hearing this, you know, maybe you're jumping in here. We both agree that 5's the best in this trilogy. And it's my personal favorite for everything, and 3's your personal favorite for everything.
Correct.
And we're here. If we had to rank this trilogy, I think we both agreed as well.
Mm-hmm.
5, 6,
6,
4.
Yep.
In that order.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to just get into it, or do you have any opening thoughts? Or you want to just roll in?
Let's just roll in.
Okay. So, we made effects a huge part of it. Cheers. Let me choose my water. Boop.
Cheers.
Alright. So, we made effects a pretty big part of the last 2.
Yep.
I don't know. I was debating whether we go back and do the same for 1, 2, 3, but I don't know about all that. It just seems... kind of seems like, you know, we just improved when we moved to this series.
Yeah,
And
I think it's okay.
I don't think we go back. And I find... I'm really fascinated with the old effects.
It took a lot more.
Right, and then when you look at new stuff, I mean, I'm sure it's cool if you know what the CGI process is and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but it's all like a big green screen. Like, it's almost like a green screen, like, square.
Yeah.
Like, room that they'll do it in. And then it's just, like, they have, like, certain props and stuff inside of it. But other than that, it's, like, you take out one wall, I guess, and then that's where they recorded it.
One is, like, I don't know, I think we're monsters, right? It's, like, stuff with those little dots on it and shit.
Yeah.
You know, and they... I mean, once you've seen one, I feel like you've seen them all. And
yeah,
maybe we don't know everything we should know about that. And if that's the case, then, you know...
Please educate us.
Email us at contentcrisishotline@yahoo.com. But moving on. So, basically, I laced them in, the effects in with the rest of the notes, just so it's not a effects segment, notes segment. Right. They're just kind of all intermixed. So,
real quick before we start.
Yeah.
I do kind of want to watch, like, the special effects and stuff for episode 3 a little bit.
Okay.
Like, I'm gonna go back and watch it. Just because, like, I think we both agreed that 3 had, like, the best lightsaber battles.
Well, yeah, that's the best lightsaber battle of the entire series.
I would just love to watch the choreography, like, of it, outside of the actual movie, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I wonder if they have that. I do find a lot of times when I'm looking into special effects, they don't always go into detail on the things you wanted to hear about. Mm-hmm. For example, in this movie, I wanted to know about the Ewoks, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, granted, like with the Jawas, you know, they just said like, oh, some midgets and some children. And so, like, you know, with the Ewoks, it was probably a lot of the same.
Yeah. Had to be.
Yeah, so maybe that's why they didn't go into it. But at the same time, I mean, maybe you can show me. I mean, they do the thing a lot where if someone wore a certain uniform, like you can look at the costume, you know, they have just this display of, look at Leia's gold bikini, look at the Ewok costume, look at the costume Leia wore when she was posing as a bounty hunter. And a lot of shit, which is cool, I guess. And they have some commentary on some of those things, but I wanted to know a lot about Ewoks, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's fair. That's valid.
Yeah. But yeah, we can definitely go back to episode 3. Maybe we can even just do a short little tidbit and
Like a just
throw it in.
5
Or maybe we can do a
minute
big Star Wars recap and anything we felt like we missed. Maybe if you felt like we missed something, you write it down, and when we get done with Star Wars, we can go and do a little recap episode. We can do research and see if we missed this or that, and anything maybe we felt we should talk more about. And if a fan would email in or something, maybe something they felt like we didn't cover enough, something like that.
Yeah.
We'd love that. We'd love some fan interaction. Haven't had any of that just yet, so
It's needed. It's important.
yeah, please email in. conceptcrazeshighlineyow.com. So, I said effects-wise, first note, a lot of the same as far as like the past two. A lot of paintings as backgrounds, a lot of the same stuff, a lot of miniature models. So I didn't quite go into detail on a lot of that shit because it is just a lot of the same.
Right.
There is some unique filming stuff that I wrote down later in here that I'll mention because anything I felt was different than
From the other two.
things we've covered
Right.
in the effects, because I just felt like we'd just hammered away the effects in the past two. So
yeah, we did.
I don't want to be as boring. That said, first note about effects. All Tatooine scenes were filmed in Yuma, Arizona this time. Creatures in Jabba's palace. George Lucas told the effects guys, like, hey, make a bunch of stuff, and I'll just come look at it, and we'll decide what gets in that scene. So that's a cool thing. There's a deleted scene for the movie open. It's a scene where obviously they have how the movie does actually open. Vader, lands at the Death Star and all that, or I don't know if shit. Now I'm forgetting if it's that. Wherever he arrives with the crew, and they have that whole conversation about the Emperor. I find it funny that he goes, "You'll find the Emperor is less forgiving than me," and it's like, wow, that's pretty hard to do.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know how many people are less forgiving. Darth Vader goes, "Oh, you fucked up once, force choke."
Yeah, I mean, I could kind of see it though, but mostly just because I based that opinion off of the freedom you had playing as him and the Force Unleashed.
Sure.
And I killed every fucking stormtrooper.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I feel like you have to. And they gave you an achievement for doing for doing it. It's called Worst Boss Ever or something like that.
Nice.
I was like, yo. So that's just for me. I was just basing it off of that. I was like, yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. So after Vader has a little chat with his soldier or whatever you want to call him, he calls out to Luke through the Force, right? And you go to Luke, and he's constructing his new lightsaber, and you show him sending away R2 and 3PO, heading out for the palace, and it almost made the final cut. Like, it had music to it and everything, and then for whatever reason they just took that little section out. So basically it's just Vader arriving, and then they cut to R2 and 3PO already on the path to Jabba's palace. Yeah. So a little bit about the Jabba puppet. The first 4 notes now have been like effects or deleted scenes after I said we're not going to focus so much on special effects. The Jabba puppets. Huh?
I said I do want to know how they did it, because
the Jabba puppet has radio-controlled eyes.
Obviously, yeah.
Right. An arm. One dude per arm to control the arms, because Jabba's just a big puppet in multiple parts. A dude for the mouth. And this is hard to believe. And this is Phil Tippett that talked a lot about the effects in this movie. He was the special effects dude. I guess the main guy, right? He said, I'm just saying, I just want to preface this. I find it really hard to believe, but they said Jabba's tail moved. He said they had a little person inside the tail.
Huh.
which is just I find like I mean, you're just suffocating someone in there. Someone's just like.
Yeah, that.
So I don't know if I missed something when he said it because I rewound it a couple times. It's like he said that there's a little person inside the tail, right? And I don't know. I just found it hard to believe. So
It's a little odd.
apparently there's a little person in there. I don't know. And they had the director of photography issues. I guess a couple directors of photography. So they'd get everybody in position. They'd get the camera frames all set up. And then, dude, he'd be like, okay, wait, hold it. And then by the time they get filming, these dudes' arms are dead because they're just holding it up in the air. And they're like, come on, you got to make it more. And they're like, I don't have anything left. Like, everything,
right.
like, all the blood's flown back down. Like, they don't have anything left to do. So they got, there were certain dudes, they said that, got it all very fast. And so that made improvements as they went on. Once more on the effects.
So what have we learned?
The Rancor, Phil Tippett said the idea was a cross between a bear and a potato. That's what he modeled it after. I thought that was a funny comment, so I had to say that.
That's not what
That's what he said.
imagine.
He said they first tried to do like a man with a costume on, right? And that it just didn't go well. And so they changed it, and so it was a puppet, and they had to, it was all string controlled puppet, right? And so they had to, like, however they were filming it, they said for whatever reason, I don't understand all the shit, for whatever reason they had to do it like 3 times faster. All the movements had to be 3 times faster, and so they would just spend an entire day just doing a bunch of actions just so they could take whatever and cut it into whatever.
Damn.
For all of that. And obviously, again, the Rancor was small. Like I said, a lot of miniature stuff. Like I said, it's a lot of the same in this movie. So once we get through this, I don't want to harp on the effects too much. Yeah, and the Sarlacc pit platform. Okay, he said was built like 30 to 40 feet above the desert, like the ground in the desert.
Jesus.
So that way people could fall in and, they'd
Right.
get, all that shit. So, now, let's talk a little bit about the rest of Tatooine. So, all the ways Luke's plan could have failed.
It was a lot.
Well, because what I found funny was every time someone new came in the equation, I find they're trying to, aren't they trying to succeed? Right? So Leia thought she could get out, right? With Han? Otherwise, why would you be trying that? You telling me it was part of Luke's plan that Leia was going to get caught
Yeah.
and then be part of this final standoff in the desert? I mean, there's a lot of small inner working, just a lot of moving pieces to Luke's plan that I'm just...
It was just a really big gamble, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because she tried to, free him from the carbonite or whatever, and...
I mean, she got him out, but
she
then
was
he
able to
got
get him
thrown in a
out,
cell.
but, everybody was,
Watching.
sitting there, basically, and it's
Yeah.
I was, in my mind, I was, thinking when she lowered the thing and it made all that fucking noise, and then she, looked around, I was like... No, nobody heard that. In this dead, quiet-ass palace, you could drop a fucking pen and it would be you'd hear it somewhere because of how quiet it was.
Right.
And I was like, Jabba's also really fat, so you really think he goes to, a bedroom or something when he goes to sleep? He just usually, from what I've seen,
Yeah.
he usually just sleeps wherever the fuck he's at.
Sleeping in the palace, yeah.
He'd just sleep right there. It's not like the big slug dude's got any other care in the fucking
Yeah,
world.
what's a bed for Jabba look like? Even in Book of Boba Fett, they're just carrying those other huts around on the thing. They're just...
Oh, man, I feel
kinda-
bad for those guys.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine how many fucking people and how strong they ought to be.
Yeah.
That shit made my back hurt just looking at it.
I don't know. There's a lot to that plan. and you just go, man.
A lot of working parts.
I don't know. You see, you're telling me you expected. And the other thing for me was, why did Leia go in there and negotiate this higher price?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is Rebellion low on funds? I don't know.
I guess. Yeah.
If you're gonna go in there and negotiate by force, you would think that maybe, I got a thermal detonator and that's why I'm taking Han Solo with me, or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I would have absolutely been like, yeah, and I'll go ahead and take that too.
Right.
But I don't think I could see why they were trying to like make it like not look like it was about
Right.
Han. You know what I mean? Trying to like kind of play it off to Jabba.
The other thing I wrote down was that maybe she's just kind of trying to go in, get the lay of the land,
Right.
know where everything's at, so she can come back later, because she does come back later. But again, I don't mean to...
Poke.
I don't mean to be a dick about it, because, that whole first scene, and then the Sarlacc pit, like, it's all a very fun scene.
Mm-hmm.
And we all wanted to see Carrie Fisher in the gold bikini. We know this. All of these things are taken for granted. Like,
I'm
just
conveniently perfect fitting gold bikini.
Yeah. What do you... Oh, female slave? Yeah. What do you...
Size 3, size 5.
That looks good. There you go. Just go ahead and throw that on.
They just have a whole fucking wing that's dedicated to like wardrobe.
Yeah. Like, we have a lot of slaves around here, so just go in the slave closet, find something nice.
Something that fits. They're all labeled by number and size.
Yeah, it's all bikinis. Yeah.
Yeah, you can say Jabba's got a fetish, I guess.
Yeah.
Also, how long do you think it took for Lando to like infiltrate his guards and stuff? Because Lando was there.
Yeah. If I remember right, I think he had it written down at one point, and I felt I had a lot of notes and I just kind of got it out. But I want to say he came in around the time Leia came in or something, or around the time Luke came in, or something like that.
Because I thought he was there when Leia showed up, right?
Yeah, I think he came in with her, because then he kind of like, okay, show him, like, he's kind of like, huh, okay. He does the little, like, mask raise and, tighten it back up. I don't remember exactly his entrance. I guess that was a note I should have kept, but I didn't think. You have a knack for, like, I do all this preparation, and then you have the knack for just, like, hey, did you do any research on this? Great, I want to focus on that.
Some people just want to watch the world burn.
Yeah. So then Luke enters, after Leia's captured and she's looking all fine, and Han and Chewie are in the same cell, which they didn't break out, and Han's blind, but you'd think, like, villain rules 101, like, the two of them are going to figure something out, right?
Oh yeah.
So maybe don't throw the partners in the same cell, and I don't know.
The most dynamic
duo in the universe, right?
Like into the same prison cell. I mean, it's like that's like in the fucking Marvel world, putting like Iron Man and Captain America in the same cell. Like they're going to get out. Like
they're gonna figure it out.
Like,
right?
I don't know.
Yeah. So Luke walks in. And I was looking this up, and I couldn't find... Some people said that it was the same species of creature, but it wasn't him. I'm like, did they edit Sebulba in? Because you see, it's like before Luke gets all the way to the bottom of the stairs, coming into Jabba's palace, and there's one of those dudes walking around like Sebulba walks around.
It's absolutely a Sebulba.
So it's... Yeah, what I read was people said it's not Sebulba per se, but it's the same species of creature. And I'm like, well, what's the point of having that creature in there? If it's just say it's Sebulba.
Yeah, in my mind, that was him.
Yeah.
Like after the pod races, he just hung out with Jabba.
And then obviously we can talk. talk about the further moving pieces of Luke's plan. So, they're out in the desert. They have the big standoff because they're all going to get executed in the pit. And, of course, I always think Family Guy, I think, did this. Or, they got that... Well,
oh, yeah, the fucking look and nod that took like 10 minutes.
Family Guy did it just ridiculous. Where everybody
it was like 10 fucking minutes of like the look and nod, and I was just like, bro. Like, and I think I really want to say at some point, he even did like a fucking baseball like nod where he was
he just did like, and Family Guy?
He was like...
Family Guy did have some funny bits, but as a Robot Chicken is the champ.
They were killing that shit.
As far as the parody.
Oh yeah. My favorite was that Faith in Your Mama. What was that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Yeah. So, but if we're thinking about all the moving pieces, right? And I like that they're on the little ship flying out there, and Luke goes, Han's like, I think my vision's getting better. I just see a bunch of bright light. He's like, there's nothing to see. I grew up here, And he's like, you're gonna die here,
I was like,
funny.
That was uncalled for.
Yeah,
I was like, you're a dick.
Well, you'd be a little negative. He's like, don't worry, I'm taking care of everything. Han's just, oh, great. But if you think about it, he does this whole nod thing, right? So you're assuming that when you give Jabba these droids, that R2 is definitely going to get put into service on Sebulba's big, desert yacht or whatever, right? And then he's going to have access to go up to that window to be able to shoot that lightsaber out. I'm just saying, there's a lot. It's a lot.
It was a gamble. It was a big gamble, man. That His faith, like, in that plan was...
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen such faith in something.
I mean, I guess that's a lot of the Force, right? I mean, that's just...
that is why his lightsaber is green.
Yeah, I suppose.
Maybe he's just... I don't know. Maybe he could see a little bit into the future or something. Well, if he did, he would have saw his hand get shot. Saw himself getting his hand shot.
Yeah.
But, obviously, that's not the case. But, yeah. Big
or
gamble.
Maybe he was like, well, it's my robot hand, so...
Yeah, I mean, he's like, He's like, the good thing is, I lost that one a long time ago. Right. By a long time ago, I mean like 6 months.
By a long time ago, I mean last movie.
Last movie. Maybe 3 months.
Yeah. Do you think it was 3 months?
I don't know how much time went by, because in my mind, the way that I saw it was like, they basically went on a rescue mission for Han, like, not a rescue mission, but kind of put a plan in motion almost immediately after Luke got his hand replaced.
Right.
And I thought...
But I mean, pretty quick. I mean, he's got the hand replaced.
I mean, it was fast.
At the end of the 5th movie.
It was fast. His lightsaber skills still suck. But I think that, at least the way that I like to picture it is, like, Lando kind of went and, like, infiltrated Jabba's palace, basically, as a guard, and, like, kind of hung out there for a little bit, and then Leia showed up, like, not too long after that. Because it was, like, it couldn't have been too long. You know what I mean? Like, time frame wise. It couldn't have been too long.
Yeah, I'd like to think they weren't just, we'll get to it when we get to it, guys.
Yeah. So when you guys want to do this?
Well, I'm working on a Luke's like, I'm working on a lightsaber. Give me a couple months, okay? I'm trying to.
Which also, I kind of do wish that I saw. I didn't see him building a lightsaber.
He's like that deleted scene is literally it's like it's like the last. It's literally like a. It's like it's done, and gotcha. He hears Vader and he's like. New number, who this? Right, that kind of thing.
Hey, look, Jeebus is a...
But the scene's very cool. Right. Han's shooting the Sarlacc blind.
That shit was so funny.
Right. He's awesome. So R2 always knows what to do. R2 3PO's always 100% out of the loop.
Yep. He's always left in the dark.
It's always great. He pushes 3PO right off the ledge.
Follows him. What did we rank R2? as far as like basketball.
I said he was the sixth man of the entire series. Like 1 through 9, he's the sixth man of the year. He's obviously not the main character,
right?
But he's always coming off the bench.
Yep.
What do we need, guys?
Yep.
I'm here, right?
Yeah.
Like that kind of dude.
That because I was thinking that I was like, yep, he's definitely
yeah, he's not like, starting. He's not putting up 30 a game, but
he's the wingman. Like if you need something, you can count on.
To game 5, R2. You know, we can't afford to go down 3-1.
R2's like, bet, watch this.
Yeah, he's like, I got 27 and 10 in me. You know, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a team player, baby. Beep, boop, boop, boop. Beep,
yeah, poor
bitch.
3PO.
Yeah. 3PO. 3PO is like... I'm trying to think of a good example. 3PO is like that center that can play in the regular season, but he just gets played off the court in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, he just can't play great defense, and he doesn't put up enough offensively to justify leaving him out there. So he's that dude that plays all regular season, then you get to the playoffs, and you're like, dude, you're on the bench. I'm sorry. We're condensing the rotation. It's more of a 7-man thing right now, you know. Anyhow, if we move on, so exiting Tatooine, there's a deleted scene because basically they win and the whole thing, you know, everybody's like, woohoo! Right, they fly away, and next thing you know, Luke's going back to the Dagobah system, they're going back to the fleet, and Leia's like, hurry, right? So, there's a deleted scene where there's a sandstorm as they're getting on their ships to leave Tatooine. And it's nothing crazy, or else it wouldn't have got cut out, I don't think. Of course, we did talk about they cut out some serious shit in Hoth, where there was a whole other subplot on Hoth. With the fucking... I can't remember the monsters' names now, but it was a whole big thing. Invading the base, like thawing out in the walls of the base, so...
The Yetis.
Yeah, we'll call them Yetis. I know they had some goofy Star Wars name for them, but we'll go with Yetis at this point. So yeah, they're all getting to the ships, and then Han's going, all I can see is blowing sand! And Leia's like, that's all any of us can see. It's a sandstorm. And he's like, I must be getting better then! And then that's pretty much it. Like, that was pretty much the significance of that deleted scene, was Han. They got a fucking Han joke in real quick, you know. He's like, I'm getting better then! And Han thanks him there instead of on the radio. So I think they just did the voice thing as they're flying away. They probably put that in, I would imagine, post. Kind of. Whatever. Then we get to Endor. Alright? Do you have any guesses on where Endor is on Earth, as far as where they filmed?
I would say either Washington?
No.
Oregon? Or Northern California?
Northern California is correct.
Like the Redwood Forest.
But you don't get credit for 1 for 3, so I'm just kidding. No, I wouldn't have guessed Northern California in my life. That's good. Yeah, Northern California, and mostly private redwood groves is what they said. And so they were pretty much ready to be harvested at the time they were filming. So they were actually allowed to knock some down. They had clearance to do that kind of shit. So
that's cool.
Indeed. Oh, before Endor. I even wrote before Endor. Point to this note. You know. Anyway. Said Yoda, shut up and die, because he just keeps going. Because he's laying there and he's like,
God damn.
He's like, Luke, and he's like, again? Like it's like 4 times. It's like, I think it's 3 times. But it's like, dude, more? Like, you have more to say. I don't know.
You're just... Like, that's enough.
Yeah. Luke's like, all right.
He doesn't even, like, ignite it up here. He just kind of points at him, and he's just...
It's just, Yoda.
Like, through his eye.
Don't make me do this. Just, shh. Or he smothers him. That'd be funny. Smothering little Yoda.
Poor little 1,000-year-old Yoda.
Yeah.
That's the quickest way to the dark side I've ever seen.
And Obi-Wan in his fucking loophole. I didn't kill your father. Your father was killed by Vader. Anakin Skywalker ceased to exist. And I'm like, oh, okay, with the fucking loopholes, dude.
I feel like that was a little bit much.
I feel like that's like telling your girlfriend, oh, yeah, well, yes, technically my penis was in that girl, but I took on an alter ego when I was having sex with her, so it wasn't really me.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's exactly.
It's like, Obi-Wan, you lied, okay?
That's exactly the comparison.
And again, I know, he wasn't ready for the burden. He shouldn't have went to the Cloud City before he finished his training. I know. Blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying, let's not start a relationship off on a lie, huh?
Yeah, the least he could have done.
Vader's your father, Leia's your sister. Let's work to get past that, huh? That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
Alright.
Oh, my legs.
How they filmed some of the cool indoor scenes moving through the forest. All the moving through the trees where it looks like it's like 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Right, so there was a new invention at the time, apparently called a camera stabilizer, invented by Garrett Brown. And he actually came out to site to do some of the test shots. And so they did these frames walking through the forest very slow. And it was shooting at... However it worked, they're shooting 24 frames per second, right? And then they would speed up that footage. And so it looked like you were going through the forest 100 miles an hour, right?
That's pretty cool. Because I was always wondering how they did that.
Yeah, that's how they got all the, like, going under the shit.
And
you know, like, think about, like, going under the branches and all that, you know? They're just filming people going real slow under the, you know. So that's pretty cool. And then when they wanted the, like, rear view shot, they just reversed it really fast. And that's how they got those shots. So that was pretty cool. And they got all the side shots where some of them were just a truck driving down the road next to the forest, just filming the forest. And others where they said they found an old railroad running through the woods. And so they had just kind of covered, you know, tracks up at different spots, but they were just filming, moving alongside. And obviously all that footage is sped up.
That's dope. I mean, once again, man, I applaud them for that shit because it definitely took some creativity. And
yeah, you're talking. I think 83. I think is what it was. So
something like that, yeah.
So, and like you know, all the laser shots. They're throwing fucking pyrotechnics.
Yeah, the fucking. So here's the thing.
They were allowed to throw explosive against these trees. They were so thick they weren't
damaging it. They weren't hurting anything.
And so when they would do the and all the bike scenes were on
fucking
green screens.
Yeah.
You know, so they had that footage of ahead and behind and all that and the side shots. And then, you know, it was actually blue screen is what they were actually all doing at this point. I don't know if that's an old thing and maybe it progressed to green screen. I don't know.
It had to.
Real quick, I just had a fucking panic moment. You need to make sure that one's recording. I don't know. I just have these panic moments once in a while.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. It happens like 10 minutes in, and then sometimes I can't stop thinking about it, and then we're 34 minutes in like we are right now, and I go, I just have to know. It's like the OCD in me, I guess. I don't know. Anywho. So yeah, they literally like go from blue screen of this footage, and then they would just cut it to, you know, explosion happening up against a tree. You know, when Luke's blocking shots, you know, all the you know clone trooper shots, they're throwing, and he's like here, you know, he's hitting all the spots, right? So it's cool shit.
No, it was definitely could you imagine being a part of that though? Like at that time, you're just like,
Right.
oh, this idea is super cool and it's a lot of fun, and then it turns out to be like one of the highest grossing fucking franchises ever created.
Right.
I mean, how much is that whole thing worth? Like Star Wars, everything like Star Wars related.
Oh, we said this on another pod.
Oh, did we?
Or maybe I did with Jason. Hey, I mean, we'll look it up. It's just the computer's over there. But yeah, tracks going down the road, all that shit, side shots. Alright, so story notes. I thought it was funny that Vader could have just ended the whole movie if he just not let them come through. Like, he was like, "Do you want me to block them, sir?" And he's like, "No, I'll take care of them."
Just let him.
Which I thought was funny.
What are you about to do?
I was just gonna do Star Wars. Total value of series. And 2020's total value is estimated $70 billion.
Jesus
It is
fucking
currently the 5th highest grossing media franchise of all time. How much has Star Wars made in total? 775.8 million. Oh, that must be. Oh, they're talking about A New Hope. Whatever. Anyway.
That's a lot still.
Yeah, so 70 billion or whatever.
70 billion is not a small.
It's yeah. It's a big deal. Good for George Lucas, right? Yeah, Vader could have just ended that whole series and he's just like that whole movie. And he just goes,
Shoot it down.
I'll get it. I'll get him. Just funny. You could have just had everybody aboard, slaughtered them all, slaughtered the fleet, been done. But no, we're doing cat and mouse.
I feel like he still has that, which, I mean, it seems correct with at least the way they did it from episodes like 1, 2, and 3. Like, Anakin's still got that arrogance to him, you know?
Yeah.
So...
He likes the game. He likes the chase.
He likes to, yeah, it's exciting to him. He's like an adrenaline junkie, and it's only cost him all of his major limbs.
Yeah. No biggie. And his lungs.
Legs,
and his,
arms, lungs.
His face, you know?
Yeah.
Fuck vanity, you know?
Yeah. Fucking...
Whatever. It's cool.
It is what it is.
It's cool, bro.
I guess.
Yeah. Win some, you lose some, bruh.
Yeah, he's got a really long list of losses.
You lose most of them, bro. Including my lungs. Anyway.
Damn it. That's funny.
Do we like Ewoks?
I think they're hilarious.
I like Ewoks. I find them to be less evil Jawas. From Tatooine. The little hooded creatures that you never see. Any facial features, just dark. Dark space and little glowing eyes. Less evil Jawas.
Absolutely.
Nicer Jawas.
Yeah, they're fun to watch. Yeah, I love how they like live in the trees. And like swing from like building to building kind of type deal.
Yeah.
I mean, they still live like really primitive, but
yeah.
they're still fun to watch.
As opposed to most of the galaxy, yeah, they're a little behind the time.
A little behind.
The fact that people can inhabit a moon is interesting too.
Yeah, I mean, technically that's what you would call like a large object like that orbits like how we orbit the sun.
We're just talking about moons now.
I guess, yeah, we can talk about moons.
I was just saying it's funny, you know.
I mean, it'd be kind of cool though.
You know, I'm just saying you don't hear about moons being inhabited much. Is all.
No, yeah. But it'd be dope.
Yeah,
especially if they're like that, so capable of like sustaining life. You don't have to like.
Yeah, there's trees and shit. Like you got an Earth as a moon.
It's basically Earth, but a moon.
Yeah. And they're basically living in Northern California on the moon.
On the moon.
On the moon. Yeah. So. I'm kind of wondering why I went out. Okay. It seems a little early here, but whatever. I guess I'm a little out of order here. Anyway, I get if Luke doesn't want to kill his dad. But maybe don't just be like, okay, mercy, father, right? Vader said uncle. Basically, he didn't, uncle. But he did,
Right.
And, the Emperor's like, yes, kill him. And he's like, bzz. Just throws the saber to the side. And I was like, alright, if you don't want to kill your dad, fine. But maybe don't just like, I don't need any defenses.
Yeah. Throwing away your only source of attack and defense.
Not a great tactical move.
0 out of 10. Would not recommend.
Would not recommend. And the logistics of Vader with one fully operational hand and a robotic stub of getting a man up over his head to throw down into a reactor shaft.
He's got to be strong as fuck in that one hand. I mean,
yeah.
I feel like we talked about this. Like
and this
the robot
one's just kind
arm.
of a balancer,
Yeah, it's just to stabilize at that point.
It's just kind of, that's some, serious shit.
What if he got like his robot arm and it was just like 40 times stronger than like a regular person's arm?
Oh, it likely is. Right? I
would assume so. Oh, also, I finished
Droids
watching...
are strong.
Droids are strong. And honestly, they're just like hydraulic machines almost, it seems. But, I finished watching Obi-Wan. Yeah. And I saw him, like, rip that fucking ship apart with the Force. I was like, God damn! I was like...
Right.
I was like, who'd they have to bribe into staying behind to fly that fucking decoy ship? Because, he stopped it dead in its tracks.
Well,
and then pulled it to the ground and then just ripped it to fucking shreds.
And that's what makes it hard with, these episodes. If you're gonna make content, post these movies, at least keep it a little consistent because they don't. How many times, like in A New Hope, I think we talked about this in A New Hope, or maybe not, but. Or maybe we talked about it last episode, but Vader, in A New Hope, those doors shut. Right?
And he just stands there.
And it's like, Vader could literally, according to the knowledge gained in Obi-Wan, he could just go, nope, rip that ship in half, rip all of those people in half.
Yeah.
The fact that he even had a lightsaber fight with Third Sister in that scene in Obi-Wan, just tear her in half. I would tear. If I had the ability to tear things apart with my mind, I would never open a fucking package of trail mix with my hands again. I don't know that I'd do anything with my hands again.
Mm-mm. He really could have, like you said, just ripped the fucking doors open, and then everybody in that room would have been just in pieces.
Yeah, like it's literally. In the Force Unleashed, where you can just use the force boom,
the force repulse thing.
Yeah, force repulsion or whatever. He could just do that. He could just go poof, poof, poof.
All over the place.
He could just walk around doing that shit and ripping shit apart. And what's the point of him plot is the point of him not just ripping everything apart. But if he has the ability to do that. It's like the whole Superman thing. Oh, there's a rock and he gets sweaty. Okay, cool. Anyway.
But he can carry an entire building, normally.
Yeah.
I just... My thing is, the consistency. It's like, if he's gonna be one of the strongest, like, Jedi to ever exist, or Force users to ever exist, it's like, show that. Not just in, like, the new movies or the shows.
You probably couldn't do that in 77 when you made A New Hope.
But also, he's aged.
But, well, there's that.
So that's.
But also, maybe don't show me that now that you've made things, like, post 77.
Yeah.
Keep some consistency with these older films. Because if you show me in 2022... that he can rip a ship to shreds with his mind.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to wonder some things about the movie from 77 that's supposedly after all of this? Or do you get that once in your Jedi life? You can do that once, and
Just
he's like,
when
damn, I used it up.
Yeah. He's like, that was a waste. Because, I mean,
wasn't even in there.
He was angry as fuck. Like, the way he was like...
Yeah.
I was like...
It was the coolest episode of Kenobi.
It was easily the best.
I mean, the last one was fun, but...
The finale was dope, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But that when he pulled that ship down and just ripped it
that
apart
was,
like that, I was like...
Right there, that made that the coolest episode.
It took me back to The Force Unleashed when Starkiller pulls a fucking Star Destroyer out of the sky.
Yeah.
And I was just like... Imagine being fucking strong enough to where you can just, with your fucking mind and your hands pointed at something, pull an entire ship capable of, like, light speed travel out of the sky.
Yeah.
Because you feel like it.
Because, no.
Yeah, he's just like, I don't want you being up there anymore. So I'm just gonna... And it's just like... Over with.
Yeah. So in the Ewok battle, you know that scene where the walker, the Ewoks let all those logs go?
Oh, yeah.
And then the thing, like, boop, 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 and falls over.
Mm.
Dude said it took a month to figure out how all the movements, because, you go frame by frame.
Right.
And they couldn't just have the logs come down and have the thing really trip, because they're doing the frame by frame thing. So they had to figure out step. He said it took a month to get that right, of the walker like, whoa, 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 down. Which is insane to me.
Kind of doesn't surprise me, though. Just with, the time period. Like, for us, everything's computer generated.
Right. I mean, yeah, today,
So
you could probably
like
do that.
A couple hours, maybe. Like,
they got it done. But, I just thought it was crazy. A month.
That's a lot. They put a lot in.
Sitting there going, okay, doing all that.
And then people were like, I feel like if you bash stuff like that, like classic Star Wars, like, to me that's always gonna be like a classic. Like, my son's gonna watch the Star Wars in the same order that I watched them in, because that's how I did it. But it's like, appreciating the effort, the energy, and the creativity that goes into these films.
Right.
That's what makes them so much more enjoyable. Than like, cool, I would, like, sure, do I love watching, like, Endgame or like Doctor Strange or
very cool
Spider-Man.
movies.
Like, they're really great movies.
CGI is
But then
awesome,
it's like, I go back and it's like, I would still choose to watch, like, Star Wars over
there's so much more character to those movies, and just the way, I mean, it was like that whole thing when they're, when I told you in the last, in 5, how the guys were working on Vader's ship 7 days a week, 7 weeks.
Yeah.
Or something, whatever the crazy number was, and then they all went to Mexico for a week. They all just collectively,
they were just like, fucking
because
take
they
vacation.
just 7 days a week, Yeah.
I get it, man. I would totally fucking do the exact same thing. I don't know about Mexico, but I would totally do the same thing.
Yeah. So the incomplete Death Star was 5.5 feet in diameter.
Jesus, so that was bigger
and
than
apparently they built it backwards. So I don't know how it works, because the circle was on the left and it needed to be on the right.
Oh, okay.
And they did not go into detail on how. I don't know if they shot it with a mirror or what the fuck they did, but they did not go into detail on how they filmed it backwards. They were like, oh yeah, so then we had to flip it. And it was like, so did you take the whole thing apart? Because, like, all the, the details, like the incomplete shit on the back, I mean, they, threw wire in and, like, the light, I mean, they fucking,
it was
like,
a lot.
detailed it. Like, anytime, they said that anytime people were, in between on another effects thing on the job, that they're literally like, oh, you got nothing to do? Okay, go work on the Death Star a little bit. And it was the thing that everybody just started hating. Because it was just the most tedious fucking thing. It was like, oh, you don't have anything? Okay, yeah, go work on the Death Star a little bit.
Man, that's like my job. Like, oh, you don't have anything to do? Go ahead and start doing putaways and storing all the boxes in their racks.
Right.
Fucking sucks. I threw my phone on the floor.
Like I said, no Ewok detail. Flying through the Death Star. It was literally like taking the camera through a box, right? It was basically a box, kind of like, you know, how we were talking about the table, like everything was a table with the other movies, right? With the A New Hope and
the real long tables.
Yeah, so basically this was like a table with these tops on it, and as they got further in, you know, the camera was like hanging down, and so they take this piece off as it's going through, so the camera can go through, and so they're like, okay, it's this far, take that piece off, you know, as it's going through. And, you know, like I said, everything's miniature models. There's a little thing in there. There's a picture of the dude sitting in there where that little, like, the reactor, the main power source of the ship in there. There's a dude sitting there. He's like, hey, you know.
That's so cool.
Very cool.
I think that's so fucking cool.
Kamikaze Rebellion. Dude flew right into that control room of that Star Destroyer.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, complicated way in the Death Star to find that main core, and then just easy way out. I guess it was one of those things you just had to get on the right path and then just follow the path out. I don't know. It just seemed like you'd have to do a lot of maneuver. Seems like just another kamikaze that someone's going to die and go in there.
Well, to be fair,
because Lando was in there. Because the A-Team was in there, as they said in Robot
The
Chicken.
A-Team.
All of us always die, except the damn A-Team over there. And they're all just standing
yeah, they're not wrong, though.
No.
But that is funny. I just thought of, like, because I saw a meme about the kamikaze thing, because it was about World War II, obviously. But it was like, what's that fucking movie with Tom Hanks where he was like the captain of the cargo vessel that got taken by
Captain Phillips?
Yeah. Remember
I'm
the dude
the
where
now?
it was like, it was that meme, but it was like, look at me, it's like I am the ammo now. It's like kamikaze pilots in World War II. I was like, oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
It was funny, but it was kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it was a little messed up, but it's all good. So far, so, you know, Death Star blows up in the sky, right? And Luke and Leia are sitting down there, and, you know, they're looking at it, and Han's like, I'm sure Luke wasn't on that ship when it exploded. She's like, no, I can feel it. He's like, you love him, don't you? You know, and they're like, yeah. And they're like, no, it's not like that. He's my brother. And then Han gets that, like, it's almost as if it occurred to him a few times. Because he goes through, like, 20 different phases where he's like, oh, it's like, what the fuck?
It's kind of weird.
But it's almost as if it occurred to him, like, 3 different times. Like, you kissed your brother. You nasty bitch.
Yeah. He's like, oh, you and that Alabama stuff, huh?
Right. Alabama, what's that system? We'll talk about it later. But, you know, I just thought it was funny. It's like, why don't we ever... why does no one address it? Like, Leia doesn't address it when Luke tells her that they're siblings. She just goes, you know, somehow I've always known, which makes it weirder. Why?
It's like, yeah, I'm like, wait a minute.
You know, and Han's just like, alright, so does this mean I get to fuck? Like, he's like, should I say something, but does this mean I get to fuck? So, never mind.
He's probably thinking to himself, he's like, well, at this point now, I guaranteed get to hit, so.
Jedis and their live cremations. I just never get over, like, and like, Vader's like a bunch of plastic and shit. Yeah, so you're just gonna sit there and breathe all that in? Yeah.
Breathe in all that cancer.
He's got the Force, he doesn't get cancer. The Force is the ultimate radiation.
That's fair. That's fair, yeah. It is kind of strange, though, that they do a lot of cremations and then everybody just kind of stands like 2 feet away from the...
Yeah, like in episode 1 where they cremate Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
And they all just sit around
I'm like...
a circle, literally like they're around a fire pit, like trying to
and I'm
get
like,
warm.
I'm like, first of all, it's not even the fire itself, it's like the smell. Like, that doesn't bother none of y'all. Like, I feel like that smell would never leave. Like,
right.
Like once you smell a
human flesh,
like burning human
if
flesh.
You ever smell hair burn?
It's like very unpleasant.
It's not a great smell.
And it's like blood vaporizes.
I mean, look, we've all had to burn a body, you know? We know. I would not stand... No, anyway. Are we a fan of the new edits? You know, at the end of the movie, they... It's kind of funny. It's like, taking you live to Coruscant, where the rebellion has succeeded, right? Empire has fallen. They take you around to, you know, places that you've seen in, you know, the newer movies. Are we a fan of the new edits? You know, taking you to Naboo and all these places, right? Because you know they went to Naboo because there were fucking Gungans celebrating in the town square or whatever. So, you know, I know that's not the old edits, you know, and like Hayden Christensen. And if you're going to have a new Hayden Christensen, why do we have an old Obi-Wan? Like, why is old Obi-Wan... I don't know. You know, if you're going to do it, I feel like you go all the way if you're going to go back and correct things. You know, you don't...
The full nine... The
or are you like me and I just say you just leave it alone? You know? I mean, does it make it better tying it all in? Or do you think it should have been left alone? I'm of the opinion it should have been left alone.
I personally enjoy when things are... like tied together and they're accurate.
I like the continuity piece of it.
I understand there is going to be inconsistencies, especially if like you go and try to tie something to something else all that time later, and you're like, okay, but here is the discrepancy with that.
Right, like the fact that Obi-Wan died and then he's just old Obi-Wan. Now, obviously, back then, you know, you're just getting old Obi-Wan, but then in that original edit, it's whoever played that old fucking, you know, gray skin dude, you know, just popped up, you know, beside Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like you don't change that, you know, because if old guy died, granted, he's not going to be like defective skin guy, you know, all burnt up dude, right? But I don't know. I just didn't think it should have been Hayden Christensen, or if it was going to be Hayden Christensen, then maybe he should have kind of been done up. I don't know. Or maybe that's his ideal form. Maybe Obi-Wan's just like, I'm old.
Well, maybe that's when... Well,
and but he stays old.
That's when he stopped being a Jedi.
Okay.
That was...
Sure.
You get what you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, maybe that's why they did it like that, because that makes sense, since that's when he, like, fell to the dark side and ceased to be a Jedi at that point.
Sure. No, that's fair.
I guess that's the only way I could justify that.
Yeah. And then, you know, the other thing is, so the whole reason Vader joins the Emperor back in 3 is the Emperor's...
or whatever the hell her name was.
What'd you say?
You don't remember that?
What did you say? What did you say?
Okay. I said to save Padamame or whatever the hell her name was.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that?
Yes. So the whole reason he joins the Emperor is to save Padme, right? And, you know, the Emperor says, you know, I can bring people back, right? He's, you know, that's the dark side of the Force. I can figure it out. I figured it out, right? Mm-hmm. And the Emperor's got that. But so Vader just dies. So did he not get the trick? The Emperor not give him the goods?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he couldn't have.
What? I mean,
I'd
be pretty mad if I was Vader. Like, look, you old fuck.
Mm-hmm. I would.
The whole reason I'm here, you ain't told me shit. Here I am, 20 years into fucking running the Empire for your ass. I don't even know what the fuck someone does on a fucking Death Star. You know? Right. What the hell's an aluminum falcon? You know, all this shit, right?
Why is it so clean all the time?
Why is it so goddamn clean in here? Why doesn't anything get dirty?
Yeah.
Nothing ever happens in here.
He's like, my helmet's clean.
I'm clean.
There's no dust.
I haven't moved. This thing's been on the shelf for 2 weeks. Why is it clean?
Yeah.
Who's been in my room?
Yeah, who's dusting my room all the time?
Who's dusting my helmet? Who's changing the back-to-tank water?
Yeah.
Why do we have so many goddamn employees? I don't know. I'm just so because we all know now that 6, 7, 8, or I mean, excuse me, 7, 8, 9, that the Emperor, he's got the immortality thing, right?
Which
he's
figuring
it out. And
it doesn't surprise me though that he didn't share that knowledge to him. You know what I
well,
mean?
right,
Because
evil people gonna do evil shit.
He manipulated him, but also the Sith always betray each other. I mean, it's just kind of in their nature.
Yeah.
The master might get killed by the subordinate, and then the subordinate takes on a new one. Kind of like how Star Killer was for Vader.
Sure.
Originally Vader was keeping him around to nurture him to getting strong enough to where they could take on the Emperor, and then he would take that role. But then obviously that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Because he got found out.
But if you think about that storyline, it kind of makes it mad awkward that Vader and the Emperor just kind of continue on.
Yeah.
Remember that time you tried to overthrow me? It's like...
Nope.
like the inhale through teeth thing. Right?
He just
instead of that, it's like that.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Anyway, no one else sees ghosts. I guess you got to be a Jedi to see the ghosts, right? Leia just pulls Luke away when he's kind of like, "Hey, Dad."
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which I thought you would think that she'd be able to see.
I would think everybody sees the ghost, right? Maybe I guess you just got to be a Jedi, right?
Or I thought it was just a Force thing, but technically she should be able to see.
Yeah. Hey, she's not trained in the Force yet.
Nope. But she trained in kissing her fucking brother. Weirdo.
And I saved the quotes for the end instead of mixing them in order of their appearance. How we doing? Same as always. That bad, huh? Han and Luke, and they're both in handcuffs in Jabba's palace. Lando's taking the Millennium Falcon, the Aluminum Falcon. This is hypocrisy Han here. I got your promise, though. Not a scratch. Because we all know, if we've watched Solo, that the Falcon was Lando's ship, and Han tore it to shit.
Oh, man.
On the Kessel Run. Very oddly specific one here. 3PO says, "It is against my programming to impersonate a deity." That's a real specific one.
That's such a strange
And you think Anakin put that in there?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fucking weird.
Of all people, you'd think he'd be cool with it. So then the Ewoks all worship 3PO, and they're free. And so Han goes up to 3PO, and he goes, "How far is it? Ask him." Taps 3PO on the shoulder again. 3PO turns back. "We need fresh supplies too." 3PO turns. Han taps him. 3PO turns back. "Try and get our weapons back too." 3PO turns. Han grabs him by the arm, turns him around. "Hurry up, will ya? I ain't got all day." 3PO looks around, very confused.
Yeah.
Leia, I know, somehow I've always known, and yet you kissed him.
Yeah.
And last one, Leia returns the favor. Han says, "I love you," and Leia says, "I know." Those are the most significant quotes, I thought. And so your assessment, I just wrote a sentence. Like it better than 4, not as much as 5. I give it an 8.
I agree. I give it an 8. B-.
Yeah.
Because, it did have some pretty good... It had good scenes, good parts, but I just think episode 5 was just...
Yeah.
And,
that's not to say, 4's bad either, because 4's great as well. I love 4.
And I'm sure some people might not agree with us. They might be like, "Oh, 6 was the best," or
I've heard people say that 4 is the OG and 4 is the best, and yada yada, and that's cool.
It is.
I just like 5 the best. I think it goes 5, 6, 4.
5, 6, 4. And then 3, 1, 2.
So email us if you think we're wrong at consequenceshotline@yahoo.com, or tweet us on the twits at Content Crisis 1.
The twits.
And, if you're watching this, go to Spotify, we're Content Crisis, or Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen. We're probably there. If not, email me and tell me that we're stupid and we need to be on your level. We'll just do that anyway. And if you're listening, watch it. We're on YouTube, Content Crisis. We got some other good stuff on there by now at the time of this recording. So, thanks for listening. Happy Star Wars.
Happy Star Wars Day.
I don't know. This will be in August, I think. Happy summer. All right. Whatever. Bye.